I now have to take myself into an effective positional relationship with my attacker. What that means is, please. He's out here. If I step out to here, have I accomplished anything effective? No, because he right now is retracting and throwing another punch. Okay? I haven't done anything here, and I have not moved to any place that is going to allow me to now follow up with strategy, because now I'm going to have to contend with a secondary attack. And he can throw a secondary attack because I didn't affect him. I made contact. I'm also moving in. Now pay attention to this arm. Real slow, real slow. This arm moves with me. I initially, again, real slow, initially made contact here, but here's where we end up. I made contact here. My arm does not stay here as my body moves in. I've nullified my ability to be effective. I have to now reorient my body towards him. While I'm doing that, he's throwing an attack. Okay? So my entire structure stays intact. My arm right now, I get to here, this is all occupied. I can't do anything effective. Don't move. I need to now get my center line facing him. I have to be able to clear this pathway to deliver my thought process disruption. So, the deflecting arm. As I make contact and move in, I now quickly begin to orient my body towards him. The structure of my arm remains intact, and all I'm doing is very violently and aggressively driving my arm in towards him. Okay? My arm is practically at 90 degrees. Fingers are still straight, and all I'm doing is clearing that obstacle off of this center line. Okay? See my positioning here. Look at my hand. Here's nothing a lot of people do. So they get to here, and then we see contact with the hand and the wrist. This is no good. See here, between here and here, what fits in there? My head. Okay? If I'm aiming with my hand, go to my face, and I miscalculate, that's what ends up happening. We focus on the target, not the attack. Ignore his arm. It's insignificant. My arm stays here. That way, no matter where he goes, to my face, to my throat, to my chest, it's the same. Okay? And that means that when we end up in from here, the contact should be with this region of my deflecting hand, his bicep. Also, if I'm using my hand, or my hand happens to end up in contact, and I deflect down, look at where his arm is. He's got two directions that he can escape from right now, right? He can either go out this way, or out from behind me. So from here, I'm not leaving, or I'm giving him a closer exit to sneak that hand out. Yeah, please. 1, 2. See where we end up? Okay. His bicep is in the middle of my forearm. Equal distance that he has to escape. He's also hindered him from here. I've got an obstacle to delay him, hopefully. And as we unwind, my counterattack is already in motion. Little test that you're going to do. When you get to the point of delivering this counterattack, I want you to bring your fist to your partner's face, just place it there, and then I want you to extend. And to see that structurally, you are actually delivering an effective strike, as opposed to arbitrarily making an action. Because if your arm is here, you have nothing. And a lot of people still do this. Again, they're just arbitrarily going through motions. Okay? So real slow, let's put it all together. 1, 2. It's not 1, 2, and 3. It's 1, 2. Explode. Explode into him. We're putting that pressure on him, making him go backwards. Okay? Question?
You happen to be outside this strike. Are the principles the same if you're
identical? Okay, left hand, please. 1, 2. Okay? And lastly, let's follow up with strategy right now. So, get to here. Next is what? Do I sit there and continue this strike?
Reach for the head.
It's not a knockout game. Okay, so again, the strategy of many of the organizations out there is this and then open up. What have you done? You've done nothing. You have given yourself the benefit of the doubt. You have assumed that you're going to knock him out. If you didn't, or you didn't persuade him to leave you alone, he is coming back 3 times more problematic at you. 3 times more aggressive and faster and smarter. We take nothing for granted. That's why we have to have an actual functional strategy. So, let's go forward here, please. Good, good. 1, 2. Next is what? Disrupt the thought process, and next is what? What do I want? Right away. The head. Okay? And we know where we're going from here. Where do we want to end up? Point of dominance. This is where we want the fight to start. Here. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay? We're in a very bad place here. He's either going to be sitting here and again trying to ground and pound. He might be shooting down and try to get me some kind of a fancy grappling hold, whatever the case is. Strategy doesn't change. What do I want to take control of? The worst case scenario, which is him sitting here and striking, because that is a lot more violence. If he tries to come down and choke me or lock me up or something, okay, he's giving me his head already. So I've got a better chance of being able to get to his head. Okay, so he's raining down punches at me. First thing I need to do is get my elbows up in front of my face. All right, I want to make sure I got some kind of a buffer to buy me some time. Okay, with that, another thing that we can potentially do is to buck. Okay, so punch me for a second. If I disbalance him, you see what happens. If you buck him, you may be able to do it once. If you're lucky, maybe twice. There won't be a third time though. He's going to realize what's going on, and he's going to sit back, keep his weight back, and he's not going to go anywhere at that point. So the bucking is a strategy that you know right away. The second that you initiate it, you have to already be propelling yourself into the second phase of reaching for that head. I don't reach up to grab his head. If he is a grappler and he knows what he's doing, and we're extending limbs here, okay, I'm giving him my arms, all right? My elbows always stay close and tight, and I need to bring him to me. The way in which you do that is twofold. Number one is, again, by virtue of bucking, I bring the head in reach. It's one option. How do we get somebody to collapse forward?
Yeah.
Okay, right to the groin. Okay, that is the other option. He's punching. I can't sit here and remain defensive. I don't just sit here and keep my elbows here. Now, incidentally, he connects with one hand on my elbow. Good chance he's going to hurt that hand, if not, hopefully break it. Okay, but he might realize that coming down straight is not going to work, so he might alter his trajectory and come in where? Around. When he comes in around, it brings his head a little bit closer to me. Now, I still might not be in a position where I can reach up and grab it, but as he comes out with a punch, I may be able to still shoot a weapon up. For all intents and purposes, I'm in what range here?
Close.
Medium range. Right? Right now, in terms of between our heads. Okay, so I can still come up with an eye jab, a nose jab, a throat jab maybe, and that might alter elbow, bumps, eye jab until I can fight and I get that head. Once I get that head, we're in a good place now. Now the strategy begins. Now we're in what range?
Close.
Now we're in close range. What do? Ear smash, eye gouge, headbutt, elbow, okay? I deliver so much violence to this guy and so much damage that the way I get out of here is that he jumps up and runs away from me. Okay? That is the intent. Once I have the head, I have to first damage. I can't sit here and try to reposition him until I damage him. The way in which we now reverse this, my feet are planted on the ground, and we are going to buck him off and roll with him. I keep him tight to me. His head is pinned to my body, and that never changes. I simply pick a side on an angle, and I throw my hips violently towards that side. At the same time, okay, just to illustrate a principle here, when I have his head, I don't need to move my body anywhere, okay? I can already control him just by virtue of his head, okay? Just a principle to keep in mind. I have his head, his buddies come jumping into the picture. He pulls a knife, changes things. What am I going to do? Okay, from here I got to terminate from now. I've got no choice. Okay, so I keep his head pinned into me. My hips are going to thrust. I'm going to turn his head with that control, and I keep my body with him. We end up where? I am in positive 1. These are negative 1. Now remember, our goal is to get to our feet as quickly as possible. For the sake of working the ground, we're going to stay on the ground. We're going to work transitioning to different positions because we just want to work on different positions before we get up. Everybody understands that our goal is to get the hell up as quickly as we can.
Sir.
We never get up though until we make sure he can't come up after us. Okay, so I get to this point here. Next is what? When I flipped him, that's a passive movement. When we are passive, he's doing what?
Recovery.
He's recovering. So I have to now right away bury him with pressure again. So as soon as we flip over, smash his face on the ground, headbutt, elbow, okay, eye gouge, whatever I need to do to buy myself time. And if I have the opportunity to get up, then obviously right away. We cover if we need to because he's striking. We have elbows. We have medium range strikes from here. We have bucking. We do all of those things to fight to get to the head. We get the head, now right away we damage. I got ear smashes, eye gouges, headbutts, elbows. Immediately I pick a side. I'm turning his head to that side, violently throwing my hips in that direction, and I keep his head pinned with me, and we roll together right to here. And now we start again, right to this point here. We'll take it this far for now, and we'll add on to it. Locks on, he manages to lock me on, and again, first of all, we defend against the grab how? By not letting it exist, okay? We were too slow. We were ignorant to our environment. He manages to lock it on, and we end up in from here. Okay, so immediately, if I can, I want to get one hand to start yanking on his locking arm because I want to try to sneak out. That's my goal. I'm not standing there and trying to create an airway. I'm trying to get my head out of there. Incidental to that, I will hopefully be creating some room for my airway. All right. At the same time, right away we start to attack. Most viable target I have here is the groin. Okay. The most effective way to attack the groin is how? What's this? Everybody's doing this. What does this mean?
Open hand.
Wait.
Open hand.
No, it's not to hit. It's not to hit. It's to grab and crush and not let go. Okay? Oh, yeah. Reason for that.
Way too excited about that.
There's a reason for that. Okay? When you hit, if it's not effective, the angle is off. If you miss, you may not have exposure to that target again. Okay? When we reach in and we grab, and as we are grabbing, we're hitting. That's an initial contact, is that hit. But once you grab, it doesn't matter where he's going to. Your hand's not letting go. Okay? So it ensures that we already have access to that target. All right? So I'll return right now. He locks on. I've got the hands in from here. Okay? Depending on your flexibility and dexterity from here, I may be able to deliver a knee or even a kick. Okay, let's turn face everybody here. All right, go ahead and lock it on, please. Thank you. So, one, we have the head available here. I may be able to launch an elbow up. Okay, I can also come into here and find his face and claw back. It's not a progression. Okay, defending or escaping from grabs is not a 1, 2, 3 step. It is, you have three things, you throw them all at once, you hope that something works. And while you're throwing all that, you're already fighting to get yourself out of there. So my goal is to get my head out. 1, 2, these are some options. If I get to here, the initial strike, and I can see that I can get my head out, then that's where I'm at. Next is what? Head right away. Now the fight begins. Now we get to work and we implement our grab that thrust, I give him that kick. This is all I care about. I'm not doing this. Hold it here for a second. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. That's not realistic. A, because he's not going to be a statue. He's going to retract and keep on countering as quickly as he can. And B, that is not control. So all I'm looking for, the two guiding principles. Try not to drive that knife into you. You have to assess where it is and make sure that you're deflecting a clear line for you to enter. And control. Control with everything that you have. This is ugly, it's not pretty, it's not technical, but this is what works. Or optimizes the possibility for it to work over anything else. All right? I'm here. Now what?
Affect him.
Now the fight is on. Now he's trying to pull away. And one tiny little key point to keep in mind, what's important, is that we are controlling the back of his arm. Either with this arm or with this arm. And the rest of my body is wrapped around. And that is important because when he pulls his arm back, where does it go? The tricep drives the motion. So I want to make sure that I pull back, please. That I am negating that motion. Okay? So we're in from here. Now what do? The fight is on. What do I have to do? Now I have to disrupt the stop process. Now I do whatever it is that is available to me with weapons to hinder him, to reset. If you kick, or whether you're using high line, depends on what's available. in addition to your skill capability. I attack. Until when?
He's passive.
Till he's gone either neutral or defensive. Once he's gone neutral or defensive, now I need to optimize control and I have to enact my strategy. So it's important now that we understand where we are. If I locked in this way here, I happen to end up where? I'm in reference point 2. So I have to identify that because I have to be efficient with how it is that I take him down. So I know now that reference point 2, I need to drive that head down, and now I see him down. And from here. Okay, we'll continue to fight from here. No big deal. I can continue to attack, do what I need to do. Maintaining control until I can now safely disarm. And if you happen to end up in reference point 1, then you happen to end up in reference point 1. We ended up over here. Yesterday I said we never want to go over top to control. That's if we are put in a position that we can decide. We can't decide anything here. It doesn't matter. You end up wherever you can as long as you control. So we attack. We attack. I'm in reference point 1. So I know now I've got my options to do what I need to do from here and how to affect them efficiently. You understand?
Sir.
Any questions? So from here, we went to live side. Live side, we're going to pretty much square it off to him, okay? And it's important to understand that, again, if the buttstock is tucked underneath the armpit, you're not going to be able to pull the gun out. So we have to first pull it out, and then we want to orient the buttstock to the outside of his arm so it doesn't get tangled up with his body and then take it away. When you go to dead side, we have a little contingency that we're going to work with here. So my instinctive reflex as the bad guy is quick, okay? I come up, point this gun at him, and you're going to go off to dead side. Just go ahead and do the initial one, and yeah, go to her straight, okay? And again, and we do it nice and fast. And all of a sudden, we end up in from here, okay? Drive this weapon away from us. Let's come this out, please. Sorry? That's fine. Absolutely. Okay, so from here, 1, as I shoot in, I don't have access to this firearm now. What do I do?
Take his head.
No problem. Come to here. Okay? Now, a few things that we can possibly do. So, just go ahead and hide away from me. All right? Nice and aggressive. I don't want to be with any body part exposed here. If this weapon happens to be facing this way, then obviously we've got a bit of an issue. So I want to get behind as quickly as I can. I want the head as quickly as I can. I'm not going to reach all the way around. It's too long. You know, walk this real slow. And as I come in, I want you to, just at this pace, take the gun away. So 1, as soon as we get to here, go ahead, hunker away. We get to here, I don't even have his head. Tuck your chin down. I don't have the head. I don't want him to get away from me. I don't want to open up distance. I don't want him to turn around. If I don't have anything up here, grab hold of his hips right away. Okay? Number 1. Turn around, face me, shoot me. Okay? So just as an added little point of being able to map ourselves in relation to him. Now, as soon as I got control of those hips, what am I doing? Right away. The groin, knees into the back, until I can quickly get myself up to, we'll have that contingency now. As soon as we get to 1, so let's first come up. We'll break it down, and we get to here. And as we move in, now your partner quickly orients away. Okay? Right to here. Smash into his face as we behind the arm first very quickly, because that is absolutely no different than handgun threat from rear. All right? My elbow pops off as I am clearing and stepping in, and all we're doing obviously is wrapping around, and we know exactly what the response is from here. Exact same. Let's go to front. What is conventional response from here? Push into my body. Okay? The response is we step to here, come in. Okay. This is where the world of intelligence all of a sudden becomes stupid. I don't understand how that is possible. It's ridiculous. How do people not have all these incredible principles and understand everything, but all of a sudden they're in a predicament where they're here and they think that this is going to exist? Again, peripheral vision, stress, loss of dexterity, adrenaline is rushing, and I have to find a tiny point in space and catch onto it while he's moving. So from here, the most direct way that I have to clear that weapon, first of all, is with my arm. Okay, it's already here. Okay, so I'm just popping it out. Okay, a little bit of pressure in my body, thank you. Just popping it out from here. At the same time, I have to go in. I'm gonna slightly take my body back, but the focus is not on stepping back. Okay, again, please. The focus is gonna be on twisting out of the way. See where my arm comes to. Again, please. I'm not doing this. Okay, and the control, incidentally, is the same. The control is gonna end up, and from here, what's gonna happen is, the palm orients outwards. And from here, this becomes my control hand, primary control hand. This hand hides behind my body to ensure that we don't have any issues here. Okay? As I'm moving in, immediately to here. Okay? Now, most important thing is to anchor this down. If I have this, even if I happen to miss over here, it's fine. I can switch up to here. I can now soften him up, and then I can reorient myself to finding that weapon. Okay? What we don't do is try to come in and catch this. It's getting real slow. 1. Look at my center line. Hold it up, please, and freeze right there. Don't move. Okay, my center line orients towards him. My body slightly deviates. Okay, so I want to drive my body back to reduce the profile, but at the same token, I'm angling out and stepping in. 1. Right in my body. Okay. 1. Okay? And this hand again is here in one motion. So now we have the fight. Now he starts to pull. No big deal. We have this, we have this, we have this. All we do now is I keep his arm locked against my body, nice and strong. I don't need to grab it. I'm just curling it in. And with everything that I have, this whole side of my body, the right side, is going to simply turn right into him violently. Okay? This is not a redirect. I'm not doing this. Okay? I'm trying to minimize the hinge of the wrist, and I'm violently breaking the gun against the thumb as I pull it out. Strike, and out we go. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other hand. Exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fingers in the trigger guard here, so we gotta be careful with that, obviously. Strike, strike, and out we go. Any questions? Sir? I've got more access to that arm. All right? I know that from here, I can guarantee this more than I can guarantee going to head. Now we can go there.